The most competent person in the room is rarely the most trusted. That title belongs to someone slightly less polished, someone who stumbled once where everyone could see it. You felt this yourself, drawn to the colleague who laughed at their own typo in a presentation, suspicious of the one who never seemed to make mistakes. By the end of this, you'll understand exactly why your flaws are doing more work for you than your strengths ever could. In 1966, a social psychologist named Elliot Aronson ran an experiment that should have been forgettable. He recorded a person answering quiz questions, getting almost all of them right. Clearly brilliant. Then he recorded the same person answering the same questions. But this time at the end, the person spilled coffee all over themselves. Clumsy, awkward, human. Aronson played both recordings for separate groups and asked a simple question. Which version do you like more? The coffee spiller won, by a wide margin. Aronson called it the Pratfall effect. A highly competent person becomes more likable after making a visible mistake. The blunder didn't cancel out the competence, it made the competence feel safe to be around. Think about why that matters. When someone seems flawless, your brain doesn't relax around them. It competes, it compares, it scans for threats. A person with zero visible weaknesses triggers a quiet, exhausting calculation. Where do I rank next to this person? The moment they spill the coffee, that calculation stops. The hierarchy dissolves into something warmer. You stop measuring and start connecting. But Aronson's experiment had a detail most people skip over, and it changes the entire lesson. When an average person spilled the coffee, someone who got most of the quiz questions wrong, likability dropped. The blunder made them seem less competent, less appealing. The pratfall effect only works in one direction. You have to establish credibility first. The mistake is charming only when it interrupts a pattern of competence. Without that foundation, a stumble is just a stumble. So the formula has two parts, and the order is everything. Skill first, vulnerability second. Reverse them and you're just the person who spills things. You watch this play out in real life, without having a name for it. The surgeon who cracks a dry joke before an operation feels more trustworthy than the one reciting survival statistics. The CEO who opens an earnings call by admitting a bad quarter gets more investor confidence than the one spinning every number into a win. Your brain registers the admission as a signal. This person is secure enough to show you the crack in the armor. That security is contagious. Jennifer Lawrence built an entire public persona around this principle. She tripped on the stairs at the Oscars, twice across different years, and her favorability ratings climbed each time. Meanwhile, performers who project constant perfection often trigger what researchers call the too good to be true response. Your guard goes up. You start looking for the hidden flaw, because experience has taught you it's always there. Here's where it gets personal. You've probably been doing the opposite your entire life, hiding the struggle, editing out the messy parts before anyone sees them, rehearsing answers so you never sound uncertain. Every job interview, every first date, every meeting, you've been performing a version of yourself with all the coffee stains digitally removed, and you've mistaken that performance for professionalism. The cost is subtle but enormous. People respect the performance. They connect with the person behind it. When you hide every flaw, you get admiration at the expense of trust, and trust is the currency that actually compounds over time. Consider what happens in teams. Research from Harvard Business School found that leaders who admitted mistakes early, before being caught, were rated significantly higher on both competence and integrity by their teams. The admission itself became evidence of strength. The logic is almost paradoxical. Only someone confident in their abilities would voluntarily expose a weakness. The disclosure proves the very competence it seems to undermine. Now, there's a boundary here that matters. The pratfall effect has limits, and ignoring them turns a powerful tool into self-sabotage. The mistake has to be minor and relatable. Spilling coffee works. Admitting you forgot someone's name works. Confessing that you burned dinner while trying a new recipe works. Revealing a major ethical lapse or a pattern of incompetence does the opposite. It triggers genuine concern, and no amount of charm offsets that. The pratfall is effective precisely because it's small enough to be endearing. It signals humanity without signaling danger. The context matters too. In competitive environments where you haven't yet established credibility, a new job, a first impression with a skeptical audience, leading with vulnerability is a gamble. You need the competence receipts first. Aronson's data is clear on this. The spilled coffee charmed people only when the quiz scores were already impressive. Skip that step, and the coffee is just a mess. But once you've earned that foundation, the math flips entirely. Think about the people you trust most in your life. Really think about it. Are they the ones who always had it together? Or are they the ones who showed you, even briefly, that they sometimes don't? That friend who texted you at midnight saying they had no idea what they were doing with their career? That mentor who told you about the project they bombed in their 20s? Those moments didn't lower them in your eyes. They built a bridge you could walk across. Vulnerability, deployed from a position of strength, is the most efficient trust-building mechanism humans have. Faster than favors, more durable than shared success. One honest admission can do more for a relationship than years of flawless performance. There's a physiological layer to this too. When someone presents as perfect, your body stays in evaluation mode, muscles slightly tense, attention slightly guarded. The moment they reveal a crack, a mispronounced word, a self-deprecating observation, a genuine laugh at their own expense, your body downshifts, shoulders drop half an inch, breathing slows. You're no longer assessing the potential threat. You're sitting with another human who happens to be good at what they do. This explains why scripted corporate apologies feel hollow, while offhand admissions feel magnetic. The script signals calculation. The stumble signals reality. Your brain has been sorting these signals since childhood, long before you had words for any of it. The Japanese concept of wabi-sabi lives in this same territory. The idea that imperfection carries its own beauty, that a cracked bowl repaired with gold is more valuable than one that never broke. But wabi-sabi is philosophy. The Pratfall effect is measurement. Aronson put numbers on something potters in Kyoto understood for centuries. The flaw, handled well, becomes the most interesting part. So what do you actually do with this? You stop editing so aggressively. The next time you catch yourself about to apologize for a small mistake in public, pause. Watch what happens if you laugh at it instead. Notice how the room shifts. The tension you expected doesn't arrive. Something better does. You let the rough draft show occasionally. In your work, in your relationships, in the version of yourself you present online. You mention the thing that went sideways. You share the lesson that came from the failure, with the failure still attached. You resist the instinct to sand every edge smooth before anyone touches it. And you do this strategically, from a foundation of genuine skill. The Pratfall effect rewards the competent person who shows their humanity. It punishes the person who uses vulnerability as a substitute for doing the work. The distinction matters. Build something worth respecting first, then let people see that the person who built it is just as messy and uncertain as they are. Critics of this idea point out that vulnerability is risky, that in certain cultures and industries, any visible weakness gets exploited. They're right. A courtroom, a hostile negotiation, a cutthroat corporate ladder. These environments punish the stumble regardless of prior competence. The Pratfall effect operates most powerfully in contexts where connection matters more than dominance. Knowing which game you're in is half the skill. But most of your life runs on connection. Most of your relationships, your collaborations, your daily interactions with people who could become allies or remain strangers. In those spaces, the polished mask costs more than it protects. You already know the combination to this particular lock. You've been imperfect your entire life. Every awkward pause, every forgotten name, every moment where you said the wrong thing at the wrong time, that catalogue of small failures is sitting right there, available, waiting to do something useful. The only thing standing between you and deeper trust is the willingness to stop pretending you never spill the coffee.